Hello, I am here to show off my et15 Santa Monica College autumn of 2016 Unreal Engine video game project. And I added, let's see, look, you can see she has a little sword, which I have, which she can't swing yet, but she wants to swing it. I have an animation for her swinging, but I don't have it assigned to the button. And I have my robot who's chasing me, which is the opposite of what I'd like to do. I implemented a behavior tree, which was like all of this trouble that I went through, because what I want for him to do is to do the thing we did in class where he hangs out and then starts chasing you, except for I want him to hang out and then run from you to the next location. So I need to figure out all that logic. That's going to be... I've actually done that before in Unity, so it's not really that hard to do. It's just a matter of doing it, basically. And I have crystals for you to... I don't know what happened there. I think maybe he got to the end of my volume for... It probably ended right there. For the... What do you call it? The area where he can walk. I think ended right there, and it probably should have ended beyond the boundary of the wall. So he got stuck. That's a little bug that I'm going to have to work out. But he shouldn't be chasing me anyway. I should be chasing him. So he should know where he's going to go, and then I should have to figure out where he's going to go and how to get there. And another thing is, like, I want to have it so she can jump and climb the ladders, and I want to have the camera be a little more dynamic. So, and I played with that for a little bit, and it was trickier than I thought it was going to be. I tried to even just make a static camera, so, like, let's pretend that's the camera and I'm not pressing the button. I tried to make it so that it was just like The Legend of Zelda, sort of, or Super Nintendo, the Link to the Past, where the camera just looks like this. But it was a little trickier than I had anticipated it being. Just making it static made for some weird issues. So, yeah, I think there's actually a top-down preset for Unreal, which I should probably look into that, because that's more of the game that I'm trying to make. And then here are my platforms. They look crazy because there's a scaling issue coming from Houdini to Unreal, which it doesn't happen when you're using the Houdini engine. So all these static objects come in normally, but if you bring an FBX in, it comes in wrong, and so you have to scale it up. And so you have to scale all the movements with it too, which becomes a real kind of tricky issue. So what I'm gonna have to do is, when I go back and redo things, I'm gonna have to normalize everything, because that's what you really should do anyway. I think is you just normalize everything so it comes in at a 1-to-1 ratio, so you have everything so it fits to be as large as it can be in a 1-by-1-by-1 cube, and then it's really easy to scale by a certain number, and so you don't have to really think about it too much, because everything fits in a 1-by-1-by-1. So any object that you have, no matter how big it is, or what the shape is, just wherever it gets to be as large as it hits by 1-by-1-by-1 cube, then that's the size of it. So that's normalized, in case anyone watching this didn't know what normalization was. Now you know. And so, oh, there's my trapdoor. I've fallen onto here, and so I jump down here, and here's my trap platform, and I press the Y button on my Xbox controller, and it moves, and she can get smashed by that, and it cracks. she dies, and it's sad. And she loses all her crystals, which that's actually not by design, unfortunately. The crystals are stored on the player character, which is not what I wanted, but that's what's happening. That's what I did. And it makes sense for the life to be stored on the player character, but it doesn't make sense for crystals to be stored on the player character, I think, because I think she wants to keep her crystals. And also, if she needed to have lives, then she would... The camera is really messed up right there. I wanted to have it scale in and out, and I was playing with it, and it's too far scaled out right now. And so, okay, now she has... Those are fairy eggs. She can collect crystals and fairy eggs so far. And she can get hit by this block that falls. Oh! She almost sounds like she likes it. I don't know. I can't tell. And so that takes off a little bit of life. Oh, she got hit by Swirling Death though. I was gonna show her getting given back life. I guess I can press the H key and still take away life. Oh, look, see, I just pressed the H key a couple times. And then here is the heart that gives back life. Okay, there it goes. She gives her life back. Yeah, so... Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix the camera right there. So now that I have the key, I can open this door. And I can turn on the computer. Yay! And then I can use the elevator and move up to the top floor, which is a procedurally generated maze. With some crystals that you can collect. I'd like to make a little swirling sprite animation when you collect the crystals too, because I think that's a little... Right now they just disappear, and that's kind of janky, I guess. It's not as cool as it could just be really easy to have just a little... You know what I mean? Just like a couple little swirling stars, and it goes whee, whoosh, whoosh, just a little animation, and it's just a sprite that plays really quickly every time you collect one. I think that would look a lot better. I don't think, you know, I think that them just disappearing, and they're a little too big also, I think, because like they're like the crystals are almost as big as she is. Like, how is she holding all of these crystals? I don't know. But you know, video games aren't necessarily realistic. Who needs them to be? If we need a realism, we could go look outside, and that would be realism. We have video games, so for unrealism, that's what I think. So maybe they should be the same size as she is. She just collects a bunch of things the same size as she is. And I thought crystals, I think these, in this tower here, they're using the crystals. That's how their money is. So this is the money. So you use the crystals to buy things, and then you use the fairy eggs. You saw the fairy eggs to collect. You use those, and woo! Look at all my crazy platforms of insanity. You use those to have fairy helpers. So if you get a bunch of fairy eggs, then if you get enough, then you have a fairy bar that builds up, and then they explode out of you fairy helpers and swirl around you, you know, and dive bomb your enemies, that type of thing. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, so next order of business is definitely get her to not lose her sword and her crystals when she dies, which I'm just gonna have to store them in a file somewhere or something, or maybe I can just have an empty game object somewhere that she stores them in. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it. You saw all the things that I have to show, so I shall bid you adieu until next time. Bye bye.